Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. The session is recorded. So, today's agenda is straightforward. We are going to understand the basics of Linux operating system. You need to understand what is a file system, what are blocks, and how data will be stored in the file system. Because in Hadoop, you have an important concept called Hadoop distributed file system. Linux is an operating system which is holding Hadoop. You installed Hadoop on top of Linux operating system. There is a quick kind of similarity between Hadoop distributed file system and Linux file system. If you don't understand the basics of a file system, blocks, storage units, and all, there's no point in starting your journey towards Hadoop. And also, I know many of you are coming from Microsoft background. Your GUI using mouse for everything, the comfort zone of GUI is no more traveling with you in Linux because you see a scary black screen and you have to be moving from directories and you have to making configuration changes, and you should understand each and every configuration parameter that constitutes its functionality. Okay, that is the reason why I came up with explaining you all the basic fundamentals of Linux. So today we are going to learn Linux operating system and the basics of it. This must be new to most of you. I don't say everyone, most of you. If you have any questions, please stop me then and there. Okay, so let me go ahead and launch my lab also. Perfect, it's working. I'm happy. Okay. Meanwhile, yeah, this is more than enough. Let's jump start now. Guys, before I start, I want to tell you any questions, raise your hand or ping me on the chat window. I'll stop there and explain and move forward. That's how we have to be interactive. Okay, perfect. So, next. So, today's concept, my agenda is clear. We have two parts to be covered today. One is Linux concepts, getting started with Linux concepts, and daemons and file systems. That comes under part one. And part two, how do you access your data, how do you edit your files, and how do you edit your configuration parameters, and a kind of self-study and bash scripting language. Okay, self-study is important for every session. Let me be very clear on that. Okay, self-study means you revise the topic or you gain more knowledge on the topic on what I have said. Okay, I'll try to make sure in this 1.5 hour session or 2 hours I'll try to fit everything, but you will have to be able to digest it, so I'll make it as easy as possible. That is the agenda of today's class. Let me jump on now. Linux system. Okay, operating system is different from file system. Operating system is the whole interface, and file system is one important part in it. Okay, now let me understand the Linux file system. User commands includes executable programs and scripts. We know that the shell interprets user command. Shell is nothing but read, evaluate, print, loop in terms of development. In terms of file system, I can say this one as my file system, this one is my shell, because this shell, for example, I say pwd, it gave me working directory. Okay, if I gave ls minus l, it is listing the file systems. I have so many file systems here. So if I say categories, if I say cat categories dot java, it is reading the files for me. So this is the shell that is interpreting the user commands and submitting your request to the operating system and getting the results back for you. Okay, that is a shell. Now it is responsible for finding the commands and starting their execution. Finding the commands is nothing but, for example, if I say ls help, okay, it cannot access ls help, so I say ls help. So here it is telling Amarnath, you asked me for a help. So ls minus a means I can show you all files. And also if you see ls minus d, it lists all directories. In this way, your shell is acting as a mediator between you and the operating system. Okay, so this is what I'm here. It is responsible for finding the commands and starting their executions. Done. Several different shells are available. Bash is popular. So it's not just this one. There are several shells that are available in Linux. Among them, we have bash, which is very popular. So that is what the most importantly used script, okay, or shell I can say. The kernel manages the hardware resources for rest of the system. Kernel means, it is one of the layer within the Linux operating system that is managing your hardware resources. When you say hardware, it is your disk, it can be your CPU, it can be your RAM, it can be your USB, it can be anything. That is device hardware management, which will be done by the kernel system. Now, if you just peek into a kernel layer, you'll have an operating system. One second, I messed it up. And you have a device support, you have memory management, you have process management, and you have interface to hardware, the set of APIs, and TCP/IP integrated to kernel. Okay, any operating system you need to know resources, memory management, disk management, process management. Memory management is, you might have heard people talking about CPU, people talking about memory. For example, when I am looking to buy a laptop, I always care and concern about specifications. If I want a more performance oriented machine, I go with more RAM. So what is that RAM? What is the RAM management? What is memory management? Process management? CPUs. How many virtual core CPUs do you have in that machine? Virtual cores mean one virtual core can release n number of threads, n number of process to complete the work. That is called process management. For example, you have 10 kgs of load to handle. Instead of giving 10 kgs to one specific task, I'm giving 10 tasks to manage the 10 kgs of workload. Okay, that is called the CPU and the process management. You have 100 processes running, your 100 process can be managed by the 4 core virtual processor or something. I'm just giving an example. Okay, that's how the process. For example, guys, literally mass example I'll tell you. To survive, you need food. To survive, you need to stay. To survive, you need clothes. Like that, for any operating system, memory is to survive, disk is to live, and clothes, I can say, a process, CPU. Okay, that is how I interpret the resources for an operating system. Interface to hardware and a set of APIs. APIs are nothing but application peripheral interface, or I can say how each and every application can talk to your operating system, and how the interaction of your application to your Linux operation is happening. We are going to talk about it little later, but not now. But you need to understand how kernel comes into picture there. TCP/IP. TCP/IP is nothing but transmission control protocol, and IP integrated into kernel. IP address, network, network parameters. All these things comes under kernel. Okay, let me move on. This is not important, but I just want to tell you kernel is also a part of your operating system, which gives you enough knowledge. Okay, now let me go into kernel process. The process are basic dispatchable unit of work. For example, I'm going to place a file. Okay, when I'm going to let me show you that. Okay, let me show you that. ls minus l. Okay, now if you see here, where am I? I am in my home Hadoop ThoughtWorks. If you see here, Hadoop fs minus ls user Hadoop ThoughtWorks. Okay. Now pwd print work. Don't worry, I'll tell you what I'm doing here, but I want to show you a real-time example here. Hadoop fs minus put derby.log into user Hadoop ThoughtWorks. Kindly observe, guys. Kindly observe. Here in ThoughtWorks directory in Hadoop, I have only 4 files now. Okay. I'm going to put an additional file there. Okay. Let me show you that. Spelling mistake. Sorry for that. Apologies. I want to show you an example here. Okay. Now let's check Hadoop fs minus ls. See, now if you observe here, the derby.log came. Here, what I want you to understand is, guys, one important thing is, this is the date, this is the time, this is the size, okay, this is the group, this is the user, okay, and this one I'm going to show in a later stage. Don't worry about it. Now what I want to say is cd var log Hadoop ls minus l cd hdfs ls minus l. Don't worry what I'm doing. Don't worry about it. I'll show you little later. So we don't have logs here. That's fine. So the work what I've done here is very simple. I have taken one file from my local file system and I have put that file system into Hadoop. Hadoop is installed on top of my Linux file system. I have used the command Hadoop fs minus put to put a file from local to Hadoop. Here, what you need to understand is how is your operating system considering that your file in local directory called derby.log is taken and put into Hadoop. Question number 1. Let's answer this question after some time. Let's park this question for now. Okay, that's important. That is why I told API. Okay, now this process, this process which I did, your Linux operating system might have allocated some resources to complete that work, which runs in the background, which you cannot see. Okay, that is what I want to tell you now. Process may belong to a process group and Linux implementation of threads. Any process in the real time is a group of any processes, and if processes and process are different, processes are a combination of process. Okay, that's what it is. Device layer, this is an exploits the API from kernel. I told you what API is, don't worry about it. Register driver with kernel, that's what I have told you already. And then handles input output request for type of device. Input output is nothing but whatever you read from disk, whatever you write to disk is called input output request. Disk is nothing but your storage patterns. And once again, everyone, you have to know what are the different kinds of disks available, different kinds of storage patterns available, different ways of block storing in Linux file system. If you don't understand that, you don't understand the Hadoop usage. Examples of the device there will be DASD and video type, which we'll discuss later stages. Don't worry about it. Now, the file system. File system is nothing but a layer of abstraction between underlying file scheme and devices. Simple, very simple. Okay. You need a space. You need a storage to store your data. That storage is used in different file systems. It can be extension 3, it can be extension 4, it can be NTFS, it can be anything. Now that abstraction layer and the file scheme and devices is nothing but your file system. Now, this virtual file VFS is virtual file system. The virtual file system provides a single API between user and file system. Okay, you are user, you have a file system, and it is acting as a layer of communication between you and your file system. Handles the mounting, handles input output request, and gets them implemented. Mounting, guys, very important pattern in Linux. For example, if you take Windows operating system, your disk, you will get it if you have provisioned along with your system. In Linux, though you have provisioned it, you have to mount it. Once you have mounted it, you have to partition it. You have to physically partition the disk, making it to be mounted, allowing it to be used. If the disk is not partitioned, partition is nothing but, I'll tell you that little later when we configure a 5-node Hadoop cluster. Please park this example, but remember, disk partitioning, disk volume partitioning, disk physical partitioning is very important. You need to mount it. You need Linux operating system will read the data or write the data into disk only if it is mounted. Until and unless it is not mounted, it is not a reusable disk. That is the concept of a mounting. Okay, please be aware of it. We'll discuss the mounting points in the same slides, but a little later. The whole process will be done by a device driver. Okay, that's what it is. Next, shells I have told you very clearly, interface between user and kernel. There's nothing much to worry about it. User can swap between them. Yes, I can open multiple shells, I can swap between multiple shells. Good. Command line and GUI, we are only dealing with command line, we are not dealing with GUI. Bootstrap, operating system is nothing but booting an operating system, booting read from initial medium. Guys, imagine what happens when you reboot your operating system. It will turn off, it will reload. When a system is rebooted, it loads the kernel first. Kernel is the basic module of the operating system. It passes the control to initialization, telling guys, I have now rebooted, I'm coming up, I have passed the I have loaded my kernel. As per my kernel, as per my configurations, as per my disk, as per my CPU, as per my memory, I'm loading and I'm taking a control to all the initializations. And in this phase, yes, I have taken the memory. Yes, I have taken input output. Now the first process init will be started. This init, I'll show you 1 second. Let me get this one also, so it will be easy for us. This will take some time. Let's not. I'm just getting one virtual machine to show basics to you. Okay. Now this init, simple guys. Init space 0 will reboot your machine. But you need to understand what this init 0 does in the background. It loads the kernel, it passes the control to initialization, it has memory and IO setup, and it invokes a shell, begins the startup process. Okay, that's what it is. Now, let me go to next slide. Users and groups. This is very important. Till this point, from slide 1 to slide 5, any of you have any questions? Slide 1 to slide 5, any of you have any questions? Before I move further, you can raise your voice or you can raise your hand. Looks like it is straightforward. Perfect, I appreciate it. You can ask me any doubts if you have. Don't worry.
Hi, Amar, this is Shilpa. Can you go a little slow?
Sure, yeah, definitely. Thanks for that. Sure.
Amarnath, one more question. When you install Linux, is it minimal version or full version?
Uh, Good question. Thank you for asking this. Guys, see, Linux operating system, there are different modules in it. You have Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Let me show you that also. I thought I have to first start with that one. Thank you for asking. Operating system flavors. Now, If you see here, mostly 100 no, I cannot say 100%. 90% of the production business ready environments will have CentOS Red Hat Enterprise license as their operating system. Okay, but you need to have a basic idea what are the other flavors of operating systems that are available in the market. Okay, don't spend time on reading what it is, but just understand what it is. You have Debian as one of the operating system. You have Ubuntu, you have Fedora, you have OpenSUSE, and these things are not that important. The Mandriva, Slackwave, FreeBSD, and all, don't worry. Most of the cases, Debian, Ubuntu, Fedora, OpenSUSE. Okay, in this one, most of them are like your Red Hat Enterprise license. Okay, if you see here, this Red Hat Linux is split into Fedora and Enterprise license. The last official release of unsplit distribution was in March 2003. Okay, and if you see Fedora, the community which supported Linux distribution sponsored by Red Hat, it usually features cutting edge Linux technologies. Fairly simple, they all came from the same tree, but they have different branches. That's what it is. And if you see OpenSUSE, SUSE is nothing but a community developed Linux distribution. Okay, this is also Linux distribution. This is also Linux distribution. This one came by Red Hat. This one came by SUSE. It mainly maintains a strict policy of ensuring all code in the standards of a FOSS solutions. FOSS solution is nothing but a module, and they follow those process. In here, if you click on this one, these are all the layers of, these are all the different patterns of how they have. What I wanted to tell you is Fedora Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. See, this is your Red Hat Enterprise Linux. In here, you need to understand RHEL. RHEL is Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system. In this one, you have different layers, like the way you have your Microsoft XP, Microsoft 2000, Microsoft 2007, 2010, Windows 7, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 7. Like that, you have RHEL 7, RHEL 6, RHEL 5, like that. Now, if you just go into RHEL 6, okay, in RHEL 6, you will find different builds. Builds is nothing but build is nothing but the software that is coded for you to use. Okay, that is what it is. So the straight answer to your question is you have CentOS 6, CentOS 7. Till 2014 people have used CentOS 6 and now they are into CentOS 7. Okay, one more thing I want to show you the differences of each operating system is, let me go to my desktop. Where is my file? Not here, this one. I want to show you this end, but you have asked me, that's the reason I'm showing you. Let me just increase the font of this one. If you see here, this document explains you each and everything very clearly, but let's not jump into that right now. We need to understand each and every pattern. So if you see here, system ID in RHEL5 is in this directory, in etc, in sysconfig, in rhn. If you see in RHEL6, the same is changed. It is in sysconfig, it is in rhn, but in rhn the system ID is changed to system ID subscription manager identity. And if you come to RHEL7, the same is changed to system manager identity. The way the builds are brought to customer are changing on every release, considering the usage patterns and also other value adds. Once I finish this module, I'll come and explain each and everything carefully. Don't worry about it. So let's now park this one. Hope I've answered your question clearly. Are you okay, Devendra?
Fine, yeah.
Perfect. That's good. Now let me jump back. So what I wanted to show and the reason why I have built the provision of server is still starting. Let it take time. No worries. I will be slow. Don't worry about it. Now let's go and understand the user concept. Users and groups. Users are identified by identification called user IDs. Very good. Like when you call me Amarnath Kallam, I'll say, excuse me, did you call me? Because that is the identification of me. Each user will be associated with an integer in the range of 0 to 4 crores or 4 millions or whatever, I don't mind. It starts from 0 and ends somewhere. But one thing you need to understand here is user ID with 0 will be a super user. Okay. Now, all the users are placed in one group identified by group identification. Focus everyone. The way you have user and a user ID, the same way you have a group and a group ID. Couple of users will be mapped to one group and same user can be part of multiple groups. If I wanted to control the access, I can give full access to one group and I can restrict the same group to access something else. That is how the user access management works in Linux. Now, the way your user the way user has a UID, the same thing, each GID will be associated with integer from 0 to some big integer. Okay, now.
Sorry to interrupt, Amar.
No worries, go ahead. Yeah.
Just a quick one. When you say user and the group, you mean is it the physical user you are talking about?
You're right. You're right. Let me show you that practically.
Oh, right. Okay.
Bear with me for a second. If I go here, if I click on ID, do you see that? I am logged in now. I am logged in. That is the reason why it is telling, guys, focus, please focus. That is telling user ID of this idiot is 2242. It is the user identification and the name is Hadoop ThoughtWorks and the group ID for this guy is 1016 and he is in the group students. Okay, and this is the groups. 1 minute, hold on a second for me. What's name -f. Okay, I hate this console. I'll connect from my terminal. What's the host name? SSH Hadoop ThoughtWorks gateway01.ituniversity.com. Yes, password is copy password, come here, paste it, enter. Perfect. Now I'll close this one because that is internet managed console, which is kind of tricky. Okay, now this is mine, so I have full control on this one. Now if I click on ID here, Swapna, this is my user ID. Okay, user identification, this is my group identification, and this is nothing but number of groups I have in it. Okay, this way, like this, you can have an information of every user you have. If you click on groups, okay, I am in students group. If you log in, you will see your user ID, you will see your group ID, and you will see how many groups you are assigned to. Okay, that is the ideology of the user IDs and group. Okay, hope
Right. Perfect.
you are fine. Okay, cool, that's fine.
Yeah.
Now let me go ahead. Here what happens is, let the system assign user ID to our duplicates. You are not concerned, you are not bothered, guys. The system itself will assign a number to every user. That's all it is. Okay. Now use ID to display your user and group information. That's what I showed you now. The ID command will show you which user you are. Okay. The same thing. Let me also see what's happening here. It is still loading. Let it load. That is a HDP Hadoop cluster. I want to show you that. That's the reason I brought it up. Okay. This is done. Now I have shown you. I will underline this one because this is the command here. So you will have to do this one. Okay. Groups define the functional areas and responsibilities, because as I told you, each different users will be coupled into a group. They allow a collection of users to share files. Very good. A user can belong to multiple groups. I told you already. You can see what groups you belong to using groups command. Okay, that's what I showed you. When I say groups, it is telling Amarnath, you belong Hadoop ThoughtWorks, you belong to a group called students. If I click on ID, I can do this one. Okay, and that is what it is. Now let me go ahead and go to next slide. Logging in. Guys, there are different ways to log into a Linux operating system. The first thing is connect to a Linux file system using telnet. Okay, for example, I'll show you something. Telnet gateway 01.itversity.com port 22. Do you see that? It's connected. Means here telnet is nothing but a utility that goes and checks whether you are able to connect to that or not. Okay, gateway 01 is nothing but my host name. It's a port 22. I'm giving a command telnet. It went and tried to connect. It gave me, first thing, it initiated a connection request. Second thing, it connected. Third thing, it said I'm okay, and there is an SSH2 between both of you. Now this is, let me come back. Perfect. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, now here to connect to your Linux operating system, there are different ways to connect. Telnet helps you whether the server is up and running, first thing. And the second thing is, before you can log in, you must have a specified user account and password. That is the reason why I have used my Hadoop ThoughtWorks as a user, and I also copied the password, I pasted the password. You are aware of it. This is just an example, this thing. Okay, this guy name is Neil. His password he gave something, and when you log in, it will give you, this is the last time you have logged in. Okay, now do not log in as root until and unless you have a root. You have to root as a super user. Let me show you something. Sudo su hyphen. It is asking for a password because I am not allowed to be a root or a super user. There is a reason for it. Let me show you the reason. Now, because the protection mechanism can be overridden, careless use can cause a damage. If you're not aware of super user, guys, one more thing. Super user in Linux is nothing but admin in your Windows. The way administrator can manage, for example, if you're a super user in your Windows, you in your operating system, you can download anything, you can install anything, you can set up anything. Like that, super user in root in Linux is nothing but you are trying to be a super user. Super user means you got extra privileges. You must be careful with every action you do when you are a super user. That is the reason why this guy is telling protection mechanism can be overridden and careless use can cause damage. That is the reason why you shouldn't be using sudo unless necessary. By default, this guy has got access to everything. Root is only user defined when you install. When you install operating system, for example, I'll show you something. I don't think it's a time waste. I think it's a practical stuff. So I take the chance to explain you. Don't worry what AWS is. We are going to deal with it once we do a practical 5-node Hadoop cluster configuration. I wanted to provision a server and show you how that works. Go to EC2. I don't know why these installs are running. Oh my god. From when are these running? Okay, that's fine. Give me a second, guys. I am gone. I am gone. Oh my god. This is what happens with the cloud. I haven't stopped the servers. I bought the servers up, but I didn't stop them. They have billed me for it. Sorry for that. I'll terminate everything. I'll tell you the reason here once again. One thing, guys, be careful when you go with cloud machines. If you see here, $223 in 1 week. It's just 1 week. And this is the amount they have charged. And the mistake what me or my team have done is these servers are left running. You will be charged if you have turned your machine on even though your work is done. You have to turn them off. Instance state stop. If you stop, you will not be billed. Okay. However, T2.micro comes under free subscription. I don't want to divert now. I don't want to show you something different. Let me come back and show you what I mean to say. AWS Marketplace. I'm going to show you how I'm going to connect using different operating systems. CentOS 6. Select. Free tier eligible. Next. One instance is fine. Don't worry what I'm doing. This thing I'll show you later. Now my only idea is to show you how I will connect on machines. Next tags, security groups, all TCP and everywhere, all ICMP, anywhere. Region launch. That's fine. This is free tier eligible. Okay. Launch. I acknowledge and I'll create a new key pair. Linux basics. I have just going an extra mile to show you how things works. Download key pair. Launch instance. This will take 1 minute. Now you should ask me a question. What the hell is this Linux basics.pem? Okay, let me go back to my PPT. So guys, Linux operating systems requires a user ID and password. Here they told you root is the only user defined when you install. When you install, when you configure, when you provision are the same terms. Don't worry about it. When I say instance, when I say node, when I say cluster, in cluster is a combination of several machines. That one machine is one instance, that one machine is one node, that one machine is one server. When I say provision, that's what I just did. I brought one server up. Okay, let me show you. View launch log. Okay, I'll go to services. Don't worry about this whole AEC to console. I'm going to explain you each and everything nicely, clearly what it does, how I came there, and all these things. I got other doubt also. Let me check if it is running on any other nodes quickly. That's perfect. It's not running anywhere. Okay, it should be one running instance now. Let me also okay. The reason why I came here is if I click on this instance, which is just provisioned, try to understand something. If I click on connect, guys, carefully observe. Carefully observe. There are two ways you can connect to an Linux operating system. First thing is using terminal, and second thing is using Putty. Okay, so it uses an SSH client. SSH is nothing but secure shell connection. This secure shell connection, okay, this secure shell connection simply raises a communication request like I showed you when I do a telnet. Okay, now you need to locate your private key first. For example, where is this located? Show in Finder. This one is in downloads, right? So I'll open a command prompt here. I'll go to a basic version. I'll go to cd downloads. Okay, done. In here, once I came here, I'll check for that key. Okay, ls minus l is for checking, and I'll grep is for searching. Okay, what is the file name? File name is Linux, right? Linux star. Okay, do you see that? I got the file. Now go back to the AWS console. Here it says, boss, your key must not be publicly viewable for SSH to work. Use this command if needed. We are changing the permissions. This changing permissions I'm going to show you a little later, which is in our slides now. Don't worry about it. Okay, copy this one, paste it here. You are done. Now if you see here, SSH-I means secure shell connection. -I means this is the key you are using, and this is the user ID you are using, and this is the name of the server you need to connect. I repeat, everyone please focus. Very important. SSH is secure shell connection. You are telling your Linux terminal to connect to this machine using this key. One thing here, when you say -I, which means you are already in that directory where this Linux basics.pm key is available. Okay, and this is the user. For example, Windows, you have a user ID, you give a password. Like that, you need to first give a username, and then first you need to give a username. Before username, you need to give the password. Okay, and then the complete host name. Host name is nothing but IP address. Host name is nothing but public DNS. Host name is nothing but your server name. Don't worry, these things are very clear in next slide. I want to show you the connection patterns because we are dealing with the connections now. That's the reason I just came here. Okay, let me click on paste. Connect. Yes. Do you see that? Do you see that? It threw an error message telling, please log in as a user CentOS rather than root. This is because the CentOS 6 build uses initially the CentOS user as the authenticated user to log in. So I'll go one step up. I just pressed on up arrow. So let me change root to CentOS. Okay, now see what happens. I'm connected. Do you see that? Here it says Amarnath MacBook Pro. You are in downloads directory. Here you move to CentOS, and this is the server name to which you are connected. To confirm that, check hostname -f. This is the fully qualified domain name, full host name. And if you just give host name, you'll get half name. Okay, that's what it is. Good. You are now connected. I also told you root, right? Sudo su hyphen. Okay, root. You are connected. Very good. So that is what I just came one step up to show you how you can connect. Now you understood the process of connecting to a Linux using terminal. Now let me show you how you will connect using Putty. Putty is for Windows. Okay, connect using Putty. Click on this one. This opens the documentation. Okay, this thing I'll tell to each and every one of you when we meet for the practical session. Okay, first install Putty, and once you install Putty, you get the ID of the instance. ID of the instance is nothing but this bit. Which bit? This bit. This is the ID of instance. Okay, you get that one. Yeah, you get that one. After that, you get the public DNS, and after getting your public DNS, you need to locate your private key. Your private key is nothing but the way you gave your PEM before your username, like that you need to give your private key, and you need to enable the inbound SSH traffic to your instance. Okay, after that you need to convert your private key. Converting your private key is nothing but your private key must be converted to a public key, which is PM to PPK. This is a little, it must be a little confusing for the new starters, but still don't worry, I'll make it very simple when we start practicals. If I show now also, you tend to confuse. It's with me, it's all in my code, don't worry about it. I'll show you practically once you start practicals. Okay, today we are just discussing what are the different ways to connect to Linux. To connect to Linux, you need a user ID, you need an IP address, alias hostname, alias public DNS, alias private DNS. These are all same names. You need a user ID, you need an IP address, hostname, IP address or hostname or public IP or public DNS or anything. With that one, you need a key. That key is private key. Okay, in Linux. If it is in Windows, you need to convert the private key to public key, which we'll discuss once we do the practicals. Okay, any questions till this point? Before jumping in, let me ask you any questions. Let me know till this point. Any questions, please feel free to ask. If you're happy, I'll move forward. No, fine, perfect. Now the first,
Sorry, just a quick one, Amar.
yeah, go ahead.
Will this, I mean, in terms of connecting to Linux, will this be different with the different, you mean the flavors of
No,
Linux?
all the flavors are same. CentOS same, Fedora same, Ubuntu same. Connecting is same, but the once you connect, the way it looks inside is different. Okay, that I'll show you little later. Good question, by the way.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Any questions? One difference I can say right now is here Amarnath use CentOS rather than user root. If you provision or if you bring up or spin up a CentOS 7, that message won't come because there are configuration level libraries and binaries level changes that happens in every build. That's how they behave. It's just a different way, but it's not a error or a warning kind of thing. Okay, so the first thing is change the root password, and second job is to define a normal users per everyday use. That's perfect. That is the reason why, one second, let me show you. That is the reason why when I try to sudo su hyphen, it asks me for a password and I don't know the password because I'm a normal user. I'm just a normal user because I'm using it for day-to-day purpose. Use the su command to switch to user. I have showed you already. Let me show you once again for your convenience. Okay, guys, carefully observe everyone, please. See, I'm kind of rush guy. Okay. Now, if you see here, this is the user. Okay. This is the user. Now, if you say, who am I? CentOS. Okay. You are CentOS user now. If I say su hyphen, it is asking for a password. I don't know the password. So what I'll do is Control C. I'll exit from there. But if I do sudo su hyphen, I move to root. Okay. Now if I say who am I, I'm root. Now I want you to focus. If I exit, I came back to CentOS. Okay, see, here I'm root. Okay. When I exit, I logged out. I came into CentOS. Initially, where am I? I'm in CentOS. I moved to root. Every time when you exit, you'll come one step down. Now, if I click on exit, what happens? I'm completely logged off. Connection to this one is gone, is closed. So, by this means, what I want you to understand is exit means coming out of the existing connection. Log out. For example, you will go to CentOS. From CentOS, you will go to root. From root, you will go to some HDFS. From HDFS, you will go to Spark. From Spark, you will go to Scala. Whatever, just a user. When you exit from Scala, you'll come to Spark. When you exit from Spark, you'll come to HDFS. When you exit from HDFS, you'll come to root. When you exit from HDFS, when you exit from root, you'll come to CentOS. When you exit from CentOS, you'll be completely out of your system. That's what it is. Now, if I click on up arrow, it goes to it takes me to previous command. Enter. It's connected. Do you see that? Here it is my user Amarnath MacBook Pro and I'm in downloads directory. Here I am in CentOS user and I'm connected to this machine. Hope that's clear to everyone. Hope you have got a very clear picture on understanding how to connect to Linux systems. Use sudo command to issue privileged commands. Okay, I'll show you something. Use, guys, focus, everyone please come back. Use sudo command to issue privileged commands. As you're new, you will see number of exceptions because of permission level issues. Whenever you get permission level issues, you need to use sudo. Let me show you an example. Okay. Now I'm CentOS m-y update. Let's see what happens. Do you see that? Everyone? Guys, do you see the error message? You need to be root to perform this command. Okay. Now if I say sudo, don't ask me what it is. We'll discuss what it is later. Today's topic, I'm explaining you realistically. He made a statement here telling use sudo command to issue privileged commands. That thing I'm going to show here. But don't ask me what is sudo m-y update, which is not relevant to today's topic. Now if I issue same command sudo m-y update, see what happens. It's running. It is taking. See, it is installing everything. It is updating all your build. It has done the work. It has set up. It has taken base. It has taken extras. It has updated. It says no package marked for update. Your system is up to date. But when I did this command from CentOS, it said you need to be root. Okay. But one thing you have to understand is I'm not in root. I'm in CentOS. But I used a word called sudo. That word sudo is nothing but using sudo command to issue privileged commands. Means sudo will have equivalent permissions to root. Any questions to till this point? Any questions till this point? Connecting to Linux operating system using terminal and how to get users ID information and what happens when you exit and what happens when you are within the user. Okay, what happens and how you can give privileges. Privileges, you always say I'm privileged to invite you on stage, which means you are happy that you got that opportunity. You are privileged, means you have got that additional capabilities to take that role. Same way, Here sudo m-y update means m-y is a utility to update your operating system libraries. To do that, you must have the privileges. That privileges you have taken with the command sudo. Simple, straightforward. Don't worry about it now. Any questions? I'll stop and continue. Anybody else? Any questions?
Amar,
Yeah.
Amar, this is Bhaskar. Okay, you said for all Linux flavors, it is same.
Mm.
So all the commands is the same. If you connected to a Ubuntu distribution, is the commands same in the shell script?
Good question. Now see, this sudo m-y install, okay, or y update in CentOS will be replaced by sudo apt get install in Ubuntu. Okay, this sudo apt get install. See, for example, let me show you something. Sudo what happens? It says, boss, I can't find the command sudo apt get install. But if you see here, sudo m-y install wget, it's working. So what it means is this apt get install word. Where is that? This sudo apt-get install wget. This one is a Ubuntu command. It is not big. It is not there will not be big changes, but there will be changes. There will not be big changes, but there will be small changes. The way CentOS works and the way Ubuntu works. Okay, Ubuntu flavors you will use. I'm giving you one example. Okay, there are several examples like this. So the answer to your question is yes, there will be changes. Clear, Bhaskar?
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks, Amar.
No worries. That's perfect. Now we are done with this one. Let me go to next one. Now creating a new user. User add command will create a new user. So what I can do is, let me see if this is came up. This is still running. No worries. So I'll do it from my provisioned machine. Okay. If I go to this here, I will not have permissions. I will do from here. Now id, I'm in CentOS. I'll go to root. Okay, now what are we learning? If you see here, use the user add command and this will create a user for you. Okay, I'll create user add Linux basics. Okay, sorry, it's a spelling mistake. There's no space actually. Apologies. Okay, now pass wd Linux basics. Okay, new password. I'm giving some XYZ. You can't see my password. Now I have created a user using user add statement and I am creating a password for Linux basics user, and it asked a new password and it asked me to retype a new password which I gave. Let's go back to our PPT now. Use the user add command to create a new user. Okay, use the passwd command to create a password. I showed you very clearly. Now limits on the users can be controlled by quotas and you limit. Guys, one thing I can say here is, if you see here pwd, I'm in root. Okay, if I go one step back, I'm in CentOS. Now if I say pwd, I'm in home CentOS. For any reason, you limit. U limit, not a valid number. That's fine. We are not given anything there. See, for any reason, if I say, how can I explain that example here? Df minus h. Okay, yeah, I'm going to explain that here. Before that, I'll explain what is U limit. Now, quotas and U limits. Limits on users can be controlled by quotas and U limit. Here, what happens is, guys, please focus. Very important bit. Now, you have 7.8 GB on your operating system. Okay, in this 7.8 GB, I can control in such a way. CentOS user can only use 1 GB. Root user can only use 100 GB. Oh, sorry, 1 GB. Okay. Hadoop ThoughtWorks user can use 1 GB. X can use 2 GB. Like that, within 7 GB, I can restrict people using quotas, U limits, limiting users to access only certain limitations to save the space. That is what it is. Hope you understood user adding. Hope you understood creating password. Okay, now one thing I want to explain you is authority levels for the users are controlled by group membership. Now, if I say ID Linux underscore basics, 1 minute. Linux basics, not Linux underscore basics. Sorry for that. It's Linux basics. If I say ID Linux basics, it says UID given, GID also given. Do you see? GID is also 507. Why is that? Because you just created a user. You haven't mapped that user to any group. That is the reason why your Linux operating system has taken a default group with the same name like user. Okay. You can change the groups if you want. You can also add a user to one group. I'll show you that. User add group add Linux. Okay, I must be root. Okay, this is what is called privileges. So group add Linux. Okay, now it's added. Now what I'll do is user add Linux underscore Linux basics underscore 2, and I'll add this guy to a group called Linux. Now let me say ID Linux basics underscore 2. Do you see here? If you see here, guys, I don't want to confuse you. The only thing what I have done here is earlier I just created a user. Here I created one user called Linux. Before creating a Linux user, I created a group add Linux, and I added a user. While adding user itself, I mapped him to a group called Linux. That is the reason why for him user ID 502 Linux basics underscore 2, and the group ID is Linux. Okay, this is Linux group. This is the user Linux basics 2. But if you see here, user ID is same, group is same, because while creating user I have not assigned any group. It has taken by default. Here while adding user, I told very clearly this group is mapped to this user Linux basics 2 user is mapped to a group called Linux, and this Linux is already existing. Okay, that's what it is. That is the reason why I told authority levels for a user controlled by group membership. Okay, now whenever you add a new user, there will be an entry made in etc passwd directory. Now etc is a directory, and in that you have a passwd as a file. Let's go and see that one. Cat etc passwd. Okay, see, Linux basics user created. Okay, Linux basics 2 is also created. Okay, this hence proved. Perfect. Now etc shadow is depreciated. We don't find this now because this one is recent, this one is old. This is lab examples for you how you can connect to telnet. I have showed you how to log out using exit and logout command. Very good. Now what is the time? It's 6:11. No worries. Now Linux command basics. To execute a command, type its name and arguments at the command line. For that one, what I can say is I'll do ls minus l. Enter. What it does? pwd, print working directory. I'm in root. Under root, I'm checking list of file systems. ls means it will list. ls minus l means long list with line. It gives like this. See, if you say ls, it gave everything in one single line. Okay. If I say ls minus l, every file in one line. Okay. Now, if I go to cd home is nothing but changing directories. Now, if I say ls minus l, I have other files. Okay, that's what it is. Now, just to make you sure that we are in line with theory and practicals, ls is your command name, hyphen l is an option which is a flag, and etc is an argument. Argument means, for example, ls is a command, hyphen l is a flag, and if you want to see the list of files in etc, that's a different story. Okay, that etc is nothing but your requirement. It's your argument. Whatever argument you give, it takes there. Okay, for example, for example, for example, let me show you. See, where am I? pwd shows you print working directory. I am in root home. Okay, guys, one thing. This forward slash in Linux means root. Always remember. For example, let me show you. Exit. I'm in CentOS. pwd. Print working directory. In which directory am I now? Okay. Home CentOS. Do you see here? It came home CentOS. But here it says this one comma home. This one means root. I want everybody to be clear about it. Okay. Sudo su hyphen. Now we are talking about utilities, right? Now I'll go to cd etc ls minus l. Okay, ls is a command, hyphen is a flag. Now I see systemctl.d. I have so many files here. I don't want to waste my time. I say ls minus l pipe grep. I'll check with sysctl. Okay, let's see what happens. It gave me all the files starting with sysctl name. So here ls is the command, l is the flag, this one is the argument. This argument will this bit is an argument which takes, and your shell will try to meet the requirement as per your requirement. Okay, that's what it is. Now standard files, like every system, guys, for me in my case, you give me some input, I'll give you some output. Okay, like that. Linux also has a standard input, standard output, standard error. Means I'm selfish, I always do work. To get my work done, I have to give some inputs, I have to expect some outputs. When I gave input, when I got an output, I want to understand each and everything that happened while this process is running. That is called standard error. Okay, that standard error documents if there are any warnings or any errors that is coming up. That is what it is. Okay, any questions on this one? Any questions on the standard file system? The way you have input directory, output directory, and the error in Windows, it is the same format here also. Any process you run, for example, let me go back here. Cd home directory, cd var log system sys. Okay, there's no file directory. ls minus l. Okay, if I say cat messages, see what happened, guys? See what happened? You started connected to this machine at this time. Okay, a bond is found, renewal is found. Okay, this is all about your, you know, messages. It is time-based messages. Okay, now let me show you some logs also. Yeah, cd audit ls -l cat audit.log. Okay, perfect. Now see here, there's no times here, so there's no point in explaining this one. That's okay, don't worry, I'll clear this off. ls -l, I want to show you some logs so that you'll understand what I'm talking about. cd dot. Let me see in temp if I have something. There's nothing, so I'll go to home directory, cd var log ls -l. Let me see cat log, cat last log. Okay. Okay, I can explain with this example. Okay, if you see here, guys, this is your time, and this logged at this time 5:14:39. If you remember, that is the time when we provision server, so which means provisioning server is one input, getting the server is output, and whatever is happening during that time is the standard output. Your standard output, if you have any errors, that will be written in your standard error. Okay, the output of command can be sent to a file. I'll show you that example here. Again, pwd. Okay, I'm in var log ls -l. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, guys, observe, carefully observe. I'm going to tell you an example how you can redirect output to a different file. Okay, this ls -l to output. For example, if you see here, guys, observe please, ls -l or ls -l, I'll say count of wc -l. You have 23 lines here. These are 23 lines. Okay, everyone observe, these are 23 lines. What I'm doing is ls -l, I'm diverting ls -l to example underscore explanation. I'm explaining an example, that's the reason why explanation. That's it, example underscore 1. Now focus everyone, please see what happens. Now if I say cat example underscore 1, whatever I have here came here, means the output of this command is now sent into this command. I'll tell you one other example. If I say cat messages and wc -l, wc -l is nothing but it counts number of lines, that's it. Okay, you have 359 lines. Now what I'll do is cat messages, I'll write it to example underscore messages. Okay, now if I say ls -l, there's a line created, example underscore messages. Now cat example underscore messages grep or wc -l. Here I have 359, here I have 359, which means input, you given an input, you got an output. That output you are directing it in a new file. Fairly simple, straightforward. Okay, any questions here? Anyone? Any questions? Hope you're all enjoying it.
Hi, Amar. This is Naresh. When you say when you're is it copying or it is saving?
Your voice is not clear, sir.
Or when you say
It's
can you
still
go
not,
to the
still not clear.
not clear?
Still not clear. I can't hear you properly.
Can you hear me, Amar?
No,
No.
there's a lot of echo. Okay. Can you just reconnect and get back to me?
Yeah.
No problem. Thank you. Perfect. Now let me go back. Hope everybody is clear to this point, guys. Now, the way you redirect your output, you can also redirect your input. For that, the command will be this one, wc-input. Okay. Now I'm going to explain you the most important concept, which is called grepping and piping. This grepping and piping is nothing but the output of this one will be given to this one, and output of this one will be given to this one. Now, if I say, why am I here? I don't want this terminal. Let me go back here. If I say ps aux, what the hell is that? There are a lot of process coming here. There are so many process. In this process, I don't know what it is. Now, this is the process. ps aux is nothing but process sessions. Aux is get me that sessions. Okay. This one is still starting. I don't know what's wrong with this one. The reason why I brought this one is I wanted to show you the local file system difference and Hadoop file system difference. Let's wait for that to come. Okay. Now you have PSOX. You got the output of PSOX. The output of PSOX will be input to this one because of pipe. Let me go and show you that. Okay. Now PSOX grep. What's the command he used there? Netscape. Okay. There's one session. Do you see that? Here we have only one session, but in production you will have so many sessions. You'll have lot of sessions there. Okay. Now, if you see here, the output of this one must be input of this one. As I said earlier, WC minus L is nothing but it counts the number of lines. Like that, what I'll do is I'll say WC minus L. How many lines you have? You have one line. That's the process. That is how you can use pipe and grep to find the command. For example, ps minus ef. Okay, I'll show this one in here because there's a lot of process running, so I can show it here. ps minus ef grep ambari. It's running. Okay, like that. Name node. It's running. Okay. ps aux grep ambari. Okay, it's running. It is showing something. Grep Hadoop. See how many lines you have. Like that. Grep Java. Okay. Now grep Hadoop. In that I'll say WC minus L. I have 6 lines. Hope you are clear now. Grepping and piping. See, pipe, the output of the initial command will be input to the second command. Output of second command will be input to third command. That's how the grepping works. By the way, ps aux means process sessions. Aux means get me that. Now if I say ps minus ef, it does the same work. Okay. In that one, ps minus ef, I'm using grep command. Grep is nothing but you are giving output of first one to second one. Grep is just search Search for what? In the process that are running, search me name node stuff. It searched for it. Okay, like that you can grep for anything. What else can I grep? Spark running. Okay, check for scoop running. Check for hive running. Check for Kafka. Running. Okay, now if you see check for Hadoop, you'll have many lines, but one thing I want to understand is this is the session ID. Okay, and if you kill the session ID, the whole stuff will go. Okay, hope everybody is clear with this one. Very important, guys. This one will be used so many times in your office to understand what it does. Okay, now the output of ps command is sent to grep. I explained that. WC takes this input and counts the line its output going to console. Got it. Grep takes the input and searches for the Netscape passing these lines to WC. I told you. Like CMS pipes, this pipe is used to separate the stages. Very good. We are clear to till this point. Okay. Now, before I go to next stage, any questions? Let me know. We started at 5:30. It's now 6:30. I'll give you a 10 minutes break.
Amar, a quick doubt here.
Who is that? Can you speak louder?
Devinder.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
In the slide 3, can you open the slide 3 once, please?
Sure. Okay.
You copied some files from local file system to HDFS.
You're right. You're right.
Is this something related to that we discussed in the first session, like flow mind scope, like unprocessed data and processed data, like processed files and processed files? Is this something related to the example we discussed in the first session, or is a different one?
No, sir. Completely veru. Adi, there's no relation between it. Linux today, as I'm explaining Linux, I thought to stick to Linux. Guys, I don't know. To be honest with you, the response is very bad. Nobody's asking any questions. Seriously, I want session to be as interactive as possible. Either you might have been an expert in Linux, or as it is a beginning, you should have been finding it shit. Ask me, you clear all your questions. Make sure you're learning every day. The way you will grow is how am I before session, how am I after session. Did I learn anything new today? Okay. That guy told me something. I understood something. I didn't understand something, which is fine. You can understand the rest of the things once you watch the recording once again, or you can clear those questions once you talk to me, clearing all your doubts. But don't leave anything unturned. If you are not clear, raise your hand, clear it then and there. Don't carry it forward. That single thing will screw up your whole 2 months of course. I'm telling you honestly. One small thing, we are human beings. One small thing that is not clear will definitely impact on the subsequent classes. I'm trying to make it as interactive as possible. So any questions, idiotic, stupid, foolish, that's completely fine. You can ask me, because that way others will have a chance to learn from your questions. Okay. So Devender, answer to your question. That is different. This is different. And I have not involved any Hadoop stuff. The reason why I have put one file from local to Hadoop is just to show you the Linux file system is underneath and Hadoop file system on top of it. I have taken local file system and put it to Hadoop file system. If I have to browse local file system, ls. If I have to browse Hadoop file system, Hadoop fs minus ls. To show you that, I just did that work. That's it. Any questions till now?
Clear then, thank you.
I'm not sure whether it's relevant or appropriate at this time. I'm trying to understand the architecture. So say, for example, if you're working on an SQL project, you have a SQL server installed on a Windows server, and people who work on the SQL server, they have a local Windows machine and they connect to a database server. So in terms of this project, do you have a cluster setup, and is it individual user connect to the cluster using a session?
Sir, now this thing.
Hello?
One second. Now this thing, if you see here, let me show you. Good question. I appreciate it. That's a very good question. If I go to host, okay, do you see here gateway01.idversity.com?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is it here? Same, right?
Okay.
Which means from terminal, from my local machine, I am connected to a Hadoop cluster. Okay.
Okay.
This Hadoop cluster is, however, installed on top of a Linux operating system. That is the reason why if I say ls-l, I am seeing local file systems. If I say Hadoop fs minus ls, I am seeing Hadoop files which are sitting on top of Linux file system. Okay. Now your question is a user connecting to cluster. Okay. The way I have logged in with my Gmail, the way I have copied username and password, like that, you can also connect from your local machine into your cluster. SQL Server also.
Okay.
Now SQL Server is, earlier SQL Server was only used in Linux on Windows. Now SQL is also working on Linux. Okay.
Okay.
So that level, if you want to connect to SQL Server also, they will give you a SQL authenticated user ID and password, and you connect with SSH username, SSH username at the rate host name. Immediately will ask for password. You'll give you that password. You'll get into there. You will use show databases, use databases, show tables, select star from. All this stuff is common. Okay. Hope I answered your question.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
No problem. Give me 2 minutes. Let me go on mute and take a break for 5 minutes. Because continuous sessions are not good always. Show all windows. I'm going on mute. Let's take break for it's 6:33, 6:35 now. Let's come back by 6:45. Okay. Guys, everyone take a break. Come back by 6:45. Thank you. I'm back. Thank you. Yeah, so this is done. Let's go to 12th one. Now, at any point in time, if you're struck with any of the commands and if you're not aware of the full commands, you can just say man. If you say man, it will give you help. See man, what manual page do you want? Man hyphen ls. Sorry, man ls. Okay, so here when I gave man ls, it says Amarnath. The name of ls is list directory contents. The synopsis of it is ls. Okay, and description of that one is ls-a means all, ls-capital A means almost all, ls-b means escape, ls-b block size means size. Okay, like this. If you're struck with anything, you can just say man. Okay, or if I say man hyphen k ls, see what happens. It gives you full information about what you're trying to do. Okay, so let me, why all thing came, yeah, man hyphen k gives to find, should have underlined it, to find all commands with that keyword. Okay, so here what I have done is ls, right? Man hyphen k start services. See, MySQL D safe needs restarting, RPM restart, npm start, LDAP start, within the shell start. So man hyphen k keyword will help you if you're stuck. If you are exclusively looking for one command, you can say man start. It says no manual entry for start. Okay, man service. It says, see, service is nothing but service runs a system vinit script, and the description, all the system files will be found here in the environment. I'm just tapping on Q to quit. That's it. Q for quit. Okay, now to display help for that command, this is also done. We are fair enough. Now output is represented in a page at a time. Use B for scrolling backward, F for forward, and Q to quit. That's what I just showed you. Okay, Q for quit, B for backward, F for forward. Let me show you that once again. Man service. Okay, see, I'm clicking on B, it is going forward. I'm clicking on F, it's going forward. I'm clicking on Q, it quitted. Or if I say man hyphen k service, if you see here, Q, 1 minute. How can I show that? Man ls. Okay, it gave a big line, right? Guys, observe, it gave a big line. See, manual page ls, line 1, page 1, press H for help or Q for quit. So, but what I'm doing is I'm clicking F, forward. It's going forward. Did you see? It's going forward. It's going forward. And I came to end. Now I'm clicking B, backward. It's going back. It's going back. It's going back. I came to top line. Now I'm clicking F again. Forward, 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 end. I came to end. I'm quitting with just Q. Quit. Hope you're all aware of it. You also can give it a try. Now, PWD means it prints the working directory. Working directory is nothing but on which directory are you at the moment. PWD. I am in home Hadoop ThoughtWorks. Okay, and let me show you this from my local machine. Downloads, PWD. Okay, CD. If I say PWD, I'm in var log. Okay, I'll come one step up. CD dot dot. Now let me see PWD. It says I'm in var. Okay, I'll come one step up. cd dot dot. If I say pwd, it says I'm in root directory. Okay, pw means print working directory. Be careful. Most of 90% the starters where they do mistake is they don't check pwd and they try running command. The command fails. They tend to waste the time in troubleshooting the command. But the point is, command is right, but they are running the command in a wrong directory. Always do pwd. Always do pwd to check which directory are you on and which directory you want to go and which file you want to see. Now, as I told you, cd var means pwd again. I'm in root. To change directory, I'm going to cd var. Okay. Now, if I say pwd, I came to var directory. Now ls minus l. I have different directories. This one I'll show you what is d, what is r. This I'll show you. Don't worry. But these are all the things I have in it. Okay. Now, if I go to, do you see here log directory? If I go to cd log, okay. Now pwd again. I moved from var, I came to log. Now ls minus l again. I can see audit. Now cd audit. Now if you see pwd, I came into audit directory. This way you can change directories from one directory to other directory. If you want to go back, cd space dot dot, cd space dot dot, cd space dot dot. Now pwd, enter. I'm in root. So first cd dot dot I came into log, second cd dot dot I came into var, and last cd dot dot I came out of var also. So I'm in 3 steps ahead. 3 cd dot dots came back to me root. Hope that's clear. Now list ls minus l means list files in long format. This is not coming here. It should be like this. Okay. ls is listing, ls minus l is listing in long format. Okay, this I have shown you. Shutdown signal I have shown you already. Did my VM come up, by the way? Oh my god, it is still stuck there. Let it take time. No worries, that's not important for me today. Okay, this is done. Any questions till this point? Let me go to 12th bit now. Daemon. Before that, I want to show you something. Who. What who does is, let me close this one. Who. Okay, you are CentOS. Okay, who am I? Who is currently logged in? Okay, and then if you see ps, 1 minute, if you see ps, it shows you the process ID is running. Okay, if you see ps aux, this I have already shown you, but I'm showing you once again. It shows you all the running commands. Okay, fair enough. And then list all the files stored in a system. Echo a string can be echoed. This I'll show you now. Echo, this is going to be awesome. Okay, what happens? Observe. This is going to be awesome. Again, echo batch 3 Hadoop .works. What happens? It gives. It's just a string of commands. What you give is what you get. That is the functionality of echo. Okay, the w command lists all the users logged right now. Okay, let me show you that in this one, because there will be most of the users logged in w. Okay, I'm the only one logged in. That's the reason why it's showing w. That's good. This we have done. Everything I'm showing you practically. Now, daemon concept. Guys, daemon is nothing but a devil. Okay, a devil is nothing but a process. Okay, a process is nothing but a process ID. A process ID is nothing but the one which does the work. Okay. Now, daemons provide functions that are not available as part of operating system. Till this point, we have finished the operating system actually. Now we are going to understand what exactly is this daemons. Daemons are nothing but services. A service that is available internally in operating system, or service available in virtual machine, or it can be anything. This starts a task and built in subsystems OS 390, which is a module. Okay. These daemons listen to a worker request. Now, you assign me a task. The daemon has capability to listen to task, acknowledge the task, perform the work, give back the results, perform the service, and then disconnect. Every daemon in Linux, it will be active only if the work is assigned. If the work is not assigned, it becomes inactive. That is a daemon. Okay, let's go to slide 13. We are going to talk about LDAP. LDAP is nothing but lightweight directory access protocol. This is nothing but a security authentication. I want to tell you one simple thing here: authorization and authentication. You are traveling to India, okay, or you came from India. You are in security force and you are in immigration. The immigration guys checks for your passport first, okay. In here there are two terms: authenticity and authentication. Are you authorized to enter into the country? Yes, you are authorized. Show me the proof. Your visa is your authorization. What is authenticity of your visa? That is the validity of your visa. Who has given the visa? Which country? Is it UK given the visa, or are you a British passport? Authorization and authentication. Do you have a permission to come inside? Yes. On what basis, on what authenticity you came is the validity. Like that, this LDAP is nothing but lightweight directory access protocol based on the entries, which are collection of attributes that have a name. Entries are arranged in hierarchical tree structure. LDAP defines operations for interrogating and updating a directory. Guys, I'm coming from scratch only for the reason there are freshers for this group. People who have got knowledge, kindly bear with me till we get to that pace, because I have to consider each and every one of you personally and the level of understanding also. This session would have completed in 1 hour straight away, but I'm going very very slowly explaining each and everything because everyone is important for me. Let's wait for others so we all be on the same page. Okay. LDAP is nothing but lightweight directory access protocol. If you go to a company, or if you work in a company, they'll give you a user ID and password. Definitely your user ID will have a domain, and that domain is nothing but active directory. That active directory is nothing but, for example, Amazon UK. Amazon.com is the domain. That Amazon.com will have an sub branches like Amazon UK, Amazon India, Amazon Asia, EMEA, like that. Now, if you're part of Amazon UK, your domain naming service will be logged under Amazon UK, and under that domain you'll have username and password. Every time when you log in, you will be authenticated and authorized. That's the difference. The domain naming service. Domain naming service is nothing but it resolves an IP name to an IP address. Ideal example is, perfect example is this one. Do you see public DNS? Okay, let me show you something. Let me show you something interesting. This one is Hadoop ThoughtWorks. Let me go here. Ping. Do you see that? Guys, observe. I'm exiting it. If you see here, guys, observe. When I ping this one, why did I get response from this one? Did you observe? Did you understand that? Once again, ping. Ping is nothing but checking the connection. When I ping this one, why the hell did I give? Where did I get reply from this one? Which is nothing but this one is your public DNS. This public DNS is nothing but it is resolving an IP name to an IP address, or an IP address to an IP name. If I go back to AWS console here, very clearly it says, boss, this is your public DNS and this is your private IP. Okay, now if you observe this one, 172.31.9 and 191, and if you observe this one, 172.31.9 and 191, which means this IP and this one are DNS, domain naming service, means this vice versa. If you call me Amarnath Kallam or if you call me Amarnath, I'm going to pronounce. But when there are 4 Amarnaths in a room and if you call Amarnath, who is going to pronounce? Who is going to acknowledge your, who is going to turn back? Because of 4 Amarnaths here. Who the hell are you calling? So like that, your IP address will be resolved with a name called domain naming service. Now, it forwards on the request, it cannot solve. For example, when you call with an IP, if it cannot resolve, it will use DNS, which is a public DNS. It can also use private DNS. It depends upon the way how it is mapped, which we'll discuss when we configure a 5-node Hadoop cluster. Now, fields from within and without host. This is nothing but you may have fully qualified domain name or you may not have a fully qualified domain. If you ask me fully qualified domain name, let me show you what it is. Come on, hostname -f. Now see, this is fully qualified domain name because your IP address along with your region along with your DNS. Now if I say hostname, this is my hostname. Hostname -f means hostname minus full hostname. Here this is the IP address, but this IP address is mapped to this region, which is your fully qualified domain name. For example, if it is not able to resolve to this one, it will go and talk with this one. Okay, that's what it is. Now, Samba. Samba is nothing but server message blocking protocol. Okay, somebody is pinging me. I got that. Let me check who that is. Who is that? Hi Amar, when you are trying to navigate from application to other application lag, can you please slow down? Oh, is it? Yes, there is a lag. Is anyone experiencing lag on our screen and our screen? Can we pause? Yeah, guys, sorry, I didn't see that. Yes, there will be a slight lag. I know. Sorry for that. I should have been a little slow. Thanks for letting me know. What I'll do is, let me do one thing. Windows, merge all windows. Now it should be okay. Now you won't see any lag because it will be merge all windows. Okay, now it should be all right. Don't worry. Sorry for letting me know. Thanks for that. Thanks for letting me know. Let me go back. Now this bit is very simple, guys. There's nothing to worry about it. This Samba is nothing but one of the daemon which is acting as a server message block protocol for Unix system. The important part here is it acts as a NetBIOS name serving and browser support, and it has got its own support utilities. That is the importance of it. Okay, and let's go to 14th one. Here, introduction. We are deep diving into file system now. Till this point, we understood what a Linux operating system is, what is kernel is, what are modules, and how a shell works, and how you interact with shell, and how you get your work done, and you understood what are the
Amar,
yeah.
Amar, this is Bhaskar. Could you please tell once again about Samba?
Samba is very simple. It is nothing but it is a message blocking protocol. Message blocking means, for example, you have a file system, you have storage patterns, and you have a data retrieving patterns. This daemon is helping you to get your work done in terms of filing, printing, getting results from the file patterns. Okay, there are also several support utilities which Samba has got. Ideally, it's just one of the daemon. As we're talking about daemon, I came up with a Samba request. That's all. That's the only thing. Okay. Now, is that okay,
Okay.
Bhaskar? Is that
Thanks,
okay?
Amar.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Perfect. Let me go to now. You understood the Linux operating system. Now we came into the exact point called file system. A file system is a way of storing data on a medium, the way it is organized and managed. Now I have money, I have notes. Where should I put them? I have to put it in a wallet. Okay, the long notes I put in one of the holder in my wallet, and coins I put in a other holder which has the capability to hold the coins. Like that, in Linux file system also, there is a way you organize and manage your file systems. There are different examples of file systems, which is NTFS, HPFS, DOS, FAT, extension to blah blah blah. Don't worry about it. Every media for data can be considered as an array of small units holding the information. Now, this blue color thing is a block. The maroon color, I don't know. I'm bad in colors. The other one, maroon or something, that is a block. The white is a block. Like this. Every media, any large file must be broken. e- Every large file must be broken into a block. A block will be into units. Units can also be categorized as a cylinders. I'm just telling you ideal example. Okay. For example, sectors, units, blocks, files, file system, file group. Once again, units, sectors, cylinders, files, file system, file groups. That is the hierarchy. Okay. Every file system manages these blocks differently. Perfect. For example, insert a file that will use 2 blocks. Okay. That's just an example. This is about the file system. Now, if you go a little deep into file system, the most widely used Linux file system is extended to file system. Every file is represented by an inode. Inode is nothing but every file will have a offset header telling this file has this information. For example, when I call Bhaskar, Bhaskar will raise his hand because Bhaskar know that I'm calling him. Like that, every file has a header with a unique representation telling when somebody is trying to read the data or write the data into you, you have to be, you have to acknowledge and you have to get the work done. That's what it is. A file description holding among other files, file access patterns, and the physical blocks addressing holding data is all done by inodes. Now, Linux file resides on full pack, mini disk, SCSI, partitions on any above. I repeat, I told you very clearly about mount. I told very clear about partitioning. We'll discuss that little later. Partition is very important. Now, Linux is supporting multiple file system, extension FS2, FAT, FPS, JF. Don't worry about all these things. Just understand it's about different file system. That's it. Now, we are coming one step up. We are getting there. We'll be finishing shortly. Don't worry. Now, Linux device handling. Devices are the way Linux talk to the world. Perfect. Now let's go there. Let's go and do that bit. Okay. Now cd home directory, cd dev ls-l. Do you see that? These are all devices. These are all devices. Okay. If you see here, I told very clearly, devices are the way Linux talks to the world. Perfect. Devices are special files in the dev directory. That's perfect. Now, dev ttyx is tty device. Dev hdb is the hard drive. Dev hdb1 is partition 1 in the hard drive. Dev dash hdba is the other hard drive. Okay. Dev null is a null device. Dev 0 is an endless stream of zeros. Dev mouse is a mouse unit. Okay. Now if I say here cd, no, not cd, dev xvda something, do we have it? No. ls minus l. Let me check what I have there. So see, you have 0 here, combination of zeros. You have tt wise, tt1, tt2 to tt3, you have it here. And these are all devices. These devices are the one that your operating system talks to the world. Devices and the Linux talk to the world. The major defines the device type, and minor defines the device within that type, and drivers register a device. Guys, give me a second. 1 minute. Okay, I'm back now. If you see here, 1 minute, let me show you that. What I was trying to show you is, okay, let's take this bit. Okay, try to understand something here. Focus, please focus. This is very important. If you see my PowerPoint, I told you here BRWRR1. Okay, here device type B means block, C means character. Okay, here this is character. I don't see any B's here. Let me come down. Did I see any B here? I don't see any B's. I only have C's, which is character. Okay, let me go a little up. If I could find any B's. B for block, C for character. Okay, see here, guys, see here. I have B, which is block. Okay, this B and C are nothing but they are the way they talk to the external world. Now if I say cat 0, what's happening? It is just nothing, but it is still readable. Okay, so what it says is they are devices, and device, see, for example, when I want to interact with a person whom I don't know, there must be somebody who has to take me there. This dev utilities are the one who does that work. So you need to know what is a block in a device and what is a character in a device. Okay, and also within this, in my diagram, I have very, oh my god, I'm sorry. In my diagram, I very clearly explained major numbers and minor numbers. Here also you have major number, minor is 7, major is 132. Okay, here 64 is major, 5 is minor. Okay, sorry, 64 and 5 are major and 0 are minor. If you see here, for me 1 is major, 9 is minor, 7 is oh sorry, 1 second, 128 is major, 7 is minor. Okay, that is how the simple thing is, the way how I can explain you better is, see, all the TTYs, if you observe carefully, guys, TTY started from here, right? Where is it? Come on. Okay, see, 76, 77, 78, 181, 182, 180, like that. The starting point of this one is 3, and the minimum is 3, maximum is 177. If you go like this till 3, see, till this point is 255. Okay, till TTYF, minimum is 3, maximum is 255. Again it started from 3 and went like that. It should go like that till 255, which means this 255 are under one bunch to handle the load of one request, and if some other request comes, the other 255 will take the responsibility. It's just a kind of load balancing the work. Okay, that is the Linux device handling. Let me, guys, before that, any questions on this one? Anybody? Any questions? Let me know, please. So no questions. Very good. Now guys, now if you need to understand the system, files and process, information about internal Linux process available using proc file system. Okay, if you see cd from directory proc, in proc, if I go cpu info, permission unit, I'm not a root here, no worries, I'll do it here. Okay, proc cpu info. Why is permission? I'm in root, right? Sudo su hyphen, spelling mistake, sudo su hyphen. Now if I say sudo proc cpu info, I don't know why it's not working. I'll have to go and check once again. Okay, let me see. Cat proc cpu info. See, it came here. It is showing you the information of your CPU. Now the process is 0, vendor is genuine Intel, CPU family 6, model 63. We don't care about it. We just need to understand how that works. So if you want to find the process info, you can find here. If you want to understand your interrupts, you can say interrupts. Okay, perfect. This is your interrupts. Perfect, we got that. If you want to check about version, you can come and check here. It's a Linux version, very good. And if you want to see active modules, you can say modules. That's it. That's what it is. Okay, now file system, different types of file system, their file limit, they're highly reliable and high performance. This is not that important. I'm just capturing details of file systems. Now let's go to the important part, mounting file systems. Okay guys, mounting is nothing but, let me explain you, df minus h. Do you see here mounted on? Guys, please please stay focused for other 15 minutes. We'll wind up. This is most important concept, because if you don't understand the file systems and mount point, you end up confusing yourself, and that will miserably spoil your career graph. Very, very important. Try to understand. This one is mounted on root. I already told you / means root. This one is dev shm. Okay, here what you need to understand is how are these mounted here, who bought them here, what happens if they are not mounted. If they are not mounted, they are not ready to use, they are not usable. Okay, for that one, mount a file system that lives on a device to the main file tree. The main file tree is here, this one, and this one is subtree, which is branch. Now if I go here, let me show you something, guys. Come on. Now if I go here, cd dev shm. Okay, ls minus l, I have nothing, but that's a file system that's mounted. This dev schm is a file system. If I say df minus h of dev shm, it is telling boss it is 498 MB, it's 0% used, available is 0%, use 0%. If I say touch test file, and if I say vi test file, and if I say append, if I type some shit here, let me type something to make sure it's occupying some space. Okay, escape colon, don't worry what I'm doing here, I'll show you, I'll tell you what I did, don't worry. Escape colon wq. Okay, Now what I want to show here is, if you see now, do you see here 1% is used? Guys, do you understand what I did? In this mount point, in this drive, 1% is used. Earlier it is 0% used. Now if I go back and say df minus h, do you see here? Here tmps mount point file system 0%, and if I see here it is 1% used. Means when with I have created a new file called touch. Sorry, I have created a new file using touch command, and I have edited it using vi command, and I entered some data in it. Means it has taken, because that file system is mounted. If that is not mounted, it won't allow you to write any anything to be written must be mounted. That's the important part. That is the reason why I just showed you that. Okay, now start at the root file system. That's basic. Let me close this one first because I don't need this one. Perfect. Okay, mount on root. Mount to points currently defined to root. etc fs tab is used to establish boot time mounting. For example, guys, if you mount something, and if you, let me show you that one also. Why confusing? Let me show cat etc fs tab. Do you see here? This is mounted, this is mounted, this is mounted, this is mounted. Whatever, for example, what I can do is di vi etc. Vi is used for reading, guys. There's a slide on that also, don't worry. vi etc fs tab. Now append. Whatever I had here, for example, test is my name. I'm going to add it in root file system. Okay, and then I'll give something shit and all. Okay, whatever I give here, I'm not giving it because I don't want to make any changes. Okay, whatever I give here, that will be part of your persistent changes. Even though your system is rebooted, that will not, the partition won't be changed. You repartition successfully, you partition successfully, but if you don't put that in the mount point and if you don't add that in fstb, you're gone. Okay, now you can view what file systems are mounted using mount and df. That's what I showed you. If you see mount, okay, 1 minute, let me underline this word so you can do practice when you have time. See, mount is showing you mount points. This one is mounted on this one, this one is mounted on this one, this one is mounted on this one, this one is mounted on this one. Okay, that's what it is showing. Now if I say df, it is telling, boss, your file system is mounted on these points. And if I say df minus h, it is still showing the same thing, with only differences used. Okay, in here it is showing in blocks, here it is showing in mbs. Okay, available. If you see here, this one and this one, that's what it is. So this bit we are done. Any questions, let me know. Anybody, any question? We are almost done. We other have 5 slides. I'll wind up, don't worry. I want you to make sure I'm not bombarding everything on a day one. We are taking it very slowly because each and everything is very important for us. Any questions, guys? Mount points are very basic things. Most of people who are going to Hadoop administrators, your Linux administration skills are also checked now. So that is the reason why I'm stressing everything very consistently to make sure I'm feeding things correctly in you. Any questions, let me know. Feel free to ask. Very important stuff. I will not move forward until and unless everyone confirms they got it right. All okay? Is it too much? Is it going too much, or is it okay? Guys, speak up. Let me know your views.
It's okay, it's fine.
Perfect. That's good. Now, virtual file system. There is a small difference between file system and virtual file system. Somebody's pinging me. Let me check that. I don't know why this one is. Shravan, what's your doubt? Shravan, what's your doubt? Mount and EFC. Shravan, don't get confused. Mount is a mount point. You have to see, your system is very new. Okay, you want your file system to be used. Your file system is part of your disk. You will use your disk and file system only if they are mounted under root. If they are not mounted, they are not defined to use. That is the only point we wanted to highlight. Mount points are very important. And df is nothing but a, a command used to find your mount points and also space available, space used, and all these things. That is the only thing what I wanted to highlight. Okay, now VFS is designed for the consistent view of data stored on a hardware. Almost all hardware devices are represented using a generic interface. That's true. VFS goes further, allowing a sysadmin to mount any set of logical file systems on any physical device. Guys, file systems, physical file system, logical file system. Physical file systems are physical, you can see. Logical file systems, you can't see them. And this virtual file system is designed for the consistent view of data stored on this hard drive. If you see this diagram, carefully observe one thing. Okay, your kernel is here. Your operating, let me take a paintbrush, or let me show you this way. Take a pen. Okay. This is your kernel, okay, and this is your operating system. Here, your control flow and your data flow both will work only if this kernel subsystem is in sync with this process scheduler. Okay, the point where the virtual file system is coming is here. This virtual file system is underneath the operating system services. Here what it does is, kindly observe, first it is calling a system call interface, and then a system independent interface, and then a logical system, and then device independent service, and then device drivers. This is called device hardware. If you carefully go back and check, I told you very clearly, CD dev is a device hardware. That device hardware is the way it communicates to external world. Okay, this virtual file system is also part of this device hardware. In this, the same virtual file system, you should be having access to network interface, and you should also be having access to memory manager. Like this, any device hardware will follow the same process. Device hardware is a part of hardware, okay, which will be sitting on operating system. Operation is nothing but kernel. In operating system, you have hell lot of services. That hell lot of service is nothing but this calls 1 2 3 4 5 calls they have to make, and that one will be interaction with the process schedulers, which will inline touch with the kernel subsystem. Any questions on this one? Vasu, Shilpa, Swapna, Bhaskar, Nagesh, any questions on this one? Let me know. Erase all drawings. Guys, I totally understand it's completely new for you. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. If you still have questions, you are authorized to ask me. Make things clear before you go. Okay, very good. We are good with this one. Now we are ending. This is one important bit I want to cover. Linux files are stored in a single rooted hierarchical file system. Data files are stored in data directories, and directories may be nested as deep as needed. Now, let me take this pointer once again because it's very important to explain. Show all windows. Take here. Take this one. Take pen. Now, here, guys, this is home. Okay. This one is user. You agree with me? Every user will have a home directory. Okay. Root will have an etc. In etc, you have password directory, which I've already shown you. You also have init tab directory, which I've shown you. In this one, under home directory, this is Neil, this is Kali, this is Marty. Like that, if Amarnath user is created, Amarnath will have a directory home Amarnath. If a ThoughtWorks user is created, he will have home ThoughtWorks. If Hadoop user is created, you have home Hadoop user directory. Okay, in that, in one user you can have multiple subdirectories. This is the theory. Now let me show you practical. Take this one. Show all windows. Come here. Erase all drawings. Take the pointer. Come back. Now, if you say cd slash or cd lambda pwd, I'm in root. That's a parent directory. I'll go to exit. Okay. Now I've logged out. I'll do exit once again because I want to go to CentOS. Now I'm in CentOS. pwd. What is it? Home CentOS. Now if I go to su hyphen, what is the user I've created earlier?
Linux basics.
Cat etc pass wd. Okay. Now if I say su hyphen Linux basics, it's asking for the password. Linux basics. Okay. Now I move to Linux basics. pwd. Do you observe one thing, guys? Like the way you have home CentOS, same way I have Linux CentOS. Sorry, home CentOS. Once again, quick, guys, focus. The way I have CentOS, when I logged into CentOS, I have CentOS home directory. When I logged into Linux basics, I have Linux home directory. Let me go back to PPT here. This is where we are. Oh shit. 1 minute. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Let me take a pen. This is where we are. Okay. Home directory. In this home directory, you have things mentioned here. Okay. Clear all drawings. Okay. Take a pointer. This point is what I want to cover. Now, in this home directory, you also have a user directory. Okay. Let me show you that. cd user. Let's see what happens in that. ls minus l. These are all bin, game, include, lib, local, share. Ideally, in production, if we have any softwares, that softwares will be installed in bin directory. Okay, that is what bin is useful for. Who is that? Somebody is asking me a question. Can you all see the drawing? Okay, that's fine. That's not a question for me. Okay, so that is one thing. User ID I have shown, passwords I have shown. Like that, data files will be under user. Okay, if you store files under CentOS, root user cannot see that. If you store some files under root, everybody can see that. If you store some files underscore Linux basics user, others cannot see that. It is like I don't have access to your home, you don't have access to my home, until unless we both share our keys, home keys. Like that, your data files, if you store them in dev disk, which is common to everyone, you can watch them. Okay, that is what it is. Now let me go to next slide, 21. Naming the files. Naming the files is nothing but path name. Do you see here? Let me let me say what I'm talking about. This bit, home Neil B. Okay, this is nothing but that's the naming convention for directory and then the file name. Every files are sitting in directory. You have to go to that directory, passing each directory. That is called naming each containing directory starting from the root. This is known as a path name. Okay, so your home, your user, and within the home you have your own home directory, and from home directory you have to go there to access your data files or file systems. Okay, that's what it is. Now let me go to next bit. Now the current directory. One directory is designated as current working directory. If you omit the leading, then the path name is relative. This is spelling mistake. If you omit the leading, then if you omit one leading this one, then you will be your name is related to the current working directory. Use pwd to find where you are. This is very important, guys. Very important. I have seen people tend to confuse and they always think the command is wrong, but the command is wrong. The command is correct. Here they are trying to explain here. Okay, this document and this letter are under home directory and nil, which means home ThoughtWorks or home Linux basics. To access this one, you have to go to doc directory. In the doc directory you have letter, or you can also say this dot, which is root, and doc and then letter, or go to home, from home to nil, nil to doc, doc to letter. There are three ways of doing it. Okay, I'll clear the drawing and explain you once again. Erase all drawings. Let me take a pen. Okay, if you are here, you will use this directly. Okay, point number one. If you are here, or let me clear the drawing and show you once again. Take a pen. If you are here, Neil, you'll directly go and access it here by cat or view or whatever. Okay,
Amar,
one second, let me complete this. I'll come back to you. This bit is nothing but dot means the current working directory. You'll go and access this one. Very good. And if you are here, then you have to say cd root, go to home, which means come here, and from here go here, and from here go here, from here go here. That's what it is. Now somebody is asking question. Go ahead.
some reason we can't see your drawings, Amar.
Is it only you or everyone?
Some people also, I guess.
Yo, is it? You can't see
Suresh
drawing.
sounds like. Hemant also.
Why is it like that?
Vasu.
One second. Let me see. 1 second. Why is it like that? Is it the problem with PPT? Let me check once again. Highlighter. Can you see something now, guys? Can you see something?
No.
Then there is an issue. What is that issue?
I can say actually there's no issue to me. I don't know if it is
So,
specifically to few people.
Swapna, you have seen all the drawings, right? You have seen everything which I have highlighted,
Yeah.
which I have driven you.
Yeah.
Then why is it problem with some people?
Yeah.
Why is it problem with some people? I don't know. Okay, however, you'll have this session recorded. You can have a look later. I'm sure it will be very clear in the recordings, because recordings also captures this thing. We are almost done. Bear with me for a few more minutes. This bit I want to highlight because I was dealing with few new guys. Their command is correct, but they are not in a correct directory, and they have to go to home directory and run the command. I gave them enough time to think and think and approach. All the time they have spent looking at the command is correct or not. Their command is absolutely correct, but they have run the command in a wrong directory. In Linux, it's very important. pwd, 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 anytime where you are. If you do pwd, that will show you in which directory you are. From that point, you'll get an idea where you wanted to move. If you don't check pwd and if you run commands, retrospective, you waste your time. It makes you piss off. It makes you to lose your confidence. Don't do that. pwd, check where you are, move accordingly. Go to home, go to your name, and under that you'll have files. If you wanted to see common files, you'll have to see under dev. Under dev, you'll have a disk and drive that disk and get it. That's all it is. Okay, I appreciate your patience. Give me 2 more minutes. We are almost done. Erase all drawings and take pointer. Yeah. Now, if you see here, this is the root directory. Everyone, the dot says current directory. cd dot dot says parent previous directory. Lambda says my home directory. Lambda Jane is nothing but James home directory. Okay. This home is all users home directory. Bin user bin is system commands directory. Sbin user bin is used by sysadmins. etc sorts all configuration files. Var is for all logs. Dev is for device files. Proc is for process files. Hope it's as easy as it sounds. Okay, you can have a look later when you have time. Let me go to 24. Creating files. 1 minute. I'm in 25th slide now. What is the time now? 7:44. Guys, I want to check with you. Are you guys still okay or you're tired? Because if you're tired, there's no point in explaining because it will lose. You'll just listen, but you won't understand that. Everyone view please. It will take other 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes, but I just want to see your view. Are you vexed up? Are you tired? If you're tired, there's no point in explaining because it won't go straight into your head. Quick feedback on everyone. I'm still okay. If you are tired, we can discuss tomorrow because you have learned a lot today. Seriously, I mean it. Okay, 15 minutes. Okay, perfect. That's good. I appreciate it. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Thanks for that. Let's go ahead. Good. I appreciate it. Thank you for being with me. Now, okay, this is done. Now, this is very important bit. Creating files and directories. Files can be created a number of ways. You know that. I know that. Okay, the output of the command, and if you want to edit it, being edited using VI or your favorite editor. VI is my favorite editor. There are several other editors also. I don't want you to confuse with different thing, but use VI standard. By using touch command, which will create an empty file or updates the modifications and access time information existing file. Okay, now let me show you that creating files and also creating directories. Guys, I'm exiting from here. I'm in CentOS. Okay, now sudo su hyphen. I'm in root now. I always do pwd as a standard practice. Very good. Now mkdir, making a directory, linux underscore test. Okay, now if I say pwd, I am in root, ls minus l. Do you see here? This is in blue color because that's a directory. D for directory. Guys, focus. D for directory. If it is a directory, you will see D in front of it, in front of the line. If it is not a directory, you will see just a dash. Okay, now I'm going to that directory, cd linux. Okay, perfect, fair enough. I again do pwd as a standard practice, so I came into linux. Now I'll say touch. Touch means it will create a file. Touch test underscore file. Okay, now ls minus l again. Do you see that a file is created? Okay, cat is just to read, to read the contents. Cat test underscore file. There's nothing. Okay, I will edit it. Guys, observe here. Observe here. Carefully observe here. Before stressing so much to observe, I'll tell you something. VI editor usage. See guys, the VI editor is available in almost all Unix systems. VI can be used from any type of terminal because it does not depend on the arrow keys or function keys. It uses a standard alphabetic key for commands. Okay, for example, starting VI. You may use VI to open an already existing file by typing VI file name. Okay, where file name is the name of existing file. If the file is not in the current directory, you must use the full path name. That is what I told you there. Once again, focus please. If the file name is not in the current directory, you must use the full path name. What do you mean by full path name? I'll show you that. Full path name is nothing but this bit. Let me take the pointer again. This bit. Full means this bit. Okay, that's a full path. Make sure you do PWD. Make sure you do PWD. If you are in PWD, that will tell you are you in the full current directory. If you are not in current directory, then you'll have to go there and then do VI. Okay, this is done. Yeah, this is where we are. Now let me continue there. Okay, once again I repeat. When I was an initial Linux learner, I did this mistake and I wasted so much time, and I have seen people do the same thing. So VI file name is nothing but it will edit if the file name is existing. If it is not existing, it will go and create it. Okay, now you may create a new file using VI new name. Now once that is done, what you need to do is appending text. Appending text means to adding text, or to insert any text you need to type I. Appending you can type A. Okay, insert is I, append is A, anything is fine. Okay, I'm going to show you that now. Bear with me for 1 second. Guys, observe. I have created a file, VI test file. Now I'm saying VI test underscore file. Observe something carefully. Everyone focus please, focus. Now see, it will say ting 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 ting. Observe. I'm writing something, it is not accepting it. Why? See, it started accepting because I have clicked on I key. I means insert key. Once it is insert, you will see insert option here. Do you see in the end of the screen insert option? Everyone, did you observe it? Guys, did you observe insert option here? You will not be able to enter anything until unless this comes up. So you have to wait for this to come. Now this came up. I'll say Amarnath Hadoop ThoughtWorks Hadoop Spark Kafka Scala Python Lambda. Okay, now observe guys, now observe, I am tapping on escape. Okay, when I tap on escape, insert is gone. Did you observe? Insert went away. Everyone, are you with me? When I tap on escape, insert is gone. Now I tap on colon WQ / or exclamatory mark, enter. Now if I say cat test underscore file. Do you see that? Now if I say ls minus l test underscore file, do you see that? 68 bytes of data is written. Any questions on this one? That is how you can create a working directory. You can create a file, you can edit a file, you can insert data into a file. Okay. Now file permissions is owned by someone belonging to some group, has certain access permissions called owner group, and other defaults permissions determined by umask. This one I'm going to explain now. Before I move forward, a quick check from everyone. Can you please confirm this bit is clear to everyone? I'm happy to explain it.
Amar,
Yeah, go ahead.
when you said 68 bits of data is written, I didn't quite get it. I mean, how would we know?
You can see it here.
Understand.
You can see it here, right? Okay, forget it. I'll show you something. I'll go back.
Right.
Dot pwd. I'm in root directory now. ls minus l. Okay. So do you see this? Linux underscore test.
Yeah.
Okay. This is
Yeah.
this is the date. This is the time. Okay.
Right.
This is the size. This is the size of directory. Okay. Now,
right.
if I go to cd linux underscore test ls minus l, see, root is the owner. This is the size. This is the date. This is the time. Now, you may ask me, the directory size is showing 4096, but the file size is only showing 68. Because directories by default, it will start taking that much. But file size is the actual size you have written. Now, let me show you something.
I remember actually you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, let me show you something.
Yeah.
I will do something here. Again, guys, see, here you have test file. Observe carefully. I'm going to do something. It started inserting. I'll come down here again. Okay. I'll do some random data. Let me enter something. Okay. Escape. Insert mode gone. Colon. WQ. Save. Done. Now if I say ls minus l, do you see here? It was 68 earlier. Now it's 192. This means the size is increased. That is the size of the file. Okay. Swapna, hope I'm clear.
Yes, I see that. Yeah.
Perfect. That's done. Now, this bit is done. Quickly, guys, if you are not clear, give me a shout. Let's not move forward if you have any confusions. Anyone, very important. When I'm not going to repeat this when I configure a Hadoop cluster, because a Hadoop cluster configuration is completely, you will see all these commands that day. The final Hadoop cluster configuration, when we do practicals, all these commands will come that day. So please be, as this is Sunday, we have enough time, we are discussing slowly. I hope everybody is happy. Any questions? Bhaskar, Shilpa, Amar, how to check whether the file is available on the directory? Good question. I appreciate it. Ask this kind of questions. Okay, now I'll answer your question here. I'm going to, what the hell? I'm going to home directory. Okay, so now you know I have a directory called linux underscore test, and I have a file called test underscore file in that. Everybody with me, right? I know I have a linux underscore test directory, and I know a file called test underscore files. Okay, I'm going to home directory now. pwd. Okay, what I'll do is ls minus l. I know I have a directory called linux underscore test. Okay, in that I have a file called test underscore file. Okay, before that I need to give home directory because it is under root home. Do you see that? There is no file. Sorry. Wait, let me check once again. Let me go to ls-l cd linux underscore test pwd. So it is root Linux test, not home Linux. Okay, what I'll do is I will check like this. Do you see that, guys? I checked it. I checked the file using ls-l. I went to root directory. I went to Linux test directory. From there I went to test underscore file. If at all you don't know anything, you can do this still. ls-l test and then grep with uppercase T. Okay, you'll get that file. Or if you have multiple files also, whatever file that starts with letter T, it will find it for you. Okay, I already told you grep is for searching. Good one. Hope I have answered your question correctly. I have answered correctly. Yes, yeah, that's done. So next bit we are going to next thing. Yeah, somebody's asking a question. Go ahead, sir. Who is that?
Suresh.
Yeah.
Actually, if you know the directory and then file name, it's correct. But if I don't know the whether the file is in the particular directory or not, I want to check about the directory as well, in which directory that file contains.
Okay, good question. This also I appreciate. Now cd colon. Okay, see, observe guys. Find slash name test underscore. See what happens. It didn't find. Okay, this is a mistake in the command. It didn't check. It didn't find anything. Let me check once again. I think this is a mistake in the command. Let me check. It happens sometimes. Find name. What the hell is this? Linux file. Yep. Yeah, see, find hyphen name query or anything. I didn't put colons. There's a problem. If I say here test. Good question, sir. Good question. It's saying permission denied actually, but it is still looking for a change. Okay, what I'll do is I'll take off this one and do this one. There's no directory. Let me check its syntax problem. Let me find out that find hyphen name is correct. Or yeah, find type C. If you wanted to find all of the characters device of a system. Okay, that's correct. Let me take out this one and find name. It is not finding it. Let me check. Yep. Find space root hyphen name. There's no space here. That is a problem. Let me do once again. Yeah, there's no space here. I gave space. That's the only mistake. It couldn't find it. So I'll take out underscore. Do you see that? It found in test. Did you see that? Suresh, did you see that?
Yes,
One
yes.
thing you need to understand is, it found in root. It found in root, but it didn't find in a home directory because I asked it to check from here. Now my God. Now what I'll do is I'll take down this one and I'll check this one. It is not able to find it because it's not checking your personal home directory. I'll take down this colons and let's check now. It's not finding it. Okay, but it found under root directory. Do you remember in this directory we created a test file? Do you remember we created a test file?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so under root it is able to find, but I don't know for some reason it's not able to find the one which is in the this one cd linux. Here it should be able to find it, right? I don't know why it's not able to find. I'll do something. What is the file name? Let me test the file name. Let me give full file name and check. ls minus l test underscore file, right? So what I'll do now is test underscore file. Do you see that? Suresh,
Yes, Amar.
here if you give root, it went in root and found in the disk. If you give correct file name, it said your file you're looking is in linux underscore test file. So that is in this directory and this is the file. Idiotically, the only mistake what I made is I used space in here. Between this one and name, I used space. Just to correct, I went and googled that. Just not to confuse you what I have done in Google. I just checked whether my statement is correct or not. I have unnecessarily gave space between name and dash. I corrected that. That's the only thing I did. Hope you're clear now. Good question. Good question.
Thanks, Amar.
Your question gave me a chance to approach it in a different way also. I appreciate it. That's the reason I always ask people to ask questions. Good one. I appreciate it. Very good. Now, this I know. I told you user ID, GID. मैंने बोल दिया. This is also done and group list over. Now, file permissions, guys. Read will have read permissions to read the file. Write will have write permissions to write the file. Execute will have execute permissions to execute the file. And the file permissions is executable. In Windows, the way you have .exe file, you will also have in Linux the contents of the header or the first line of the file system to execute. Okay, I'll tell you that. File privileges determine if the file should be executed. Let me tell you that now. Let me go to next point. Here, guys, the long version of file listing is this is permissions, this one is owner, this one is group. Now, observe everyone. Guys, observe everyone, please. This is very important. If we finish this off, our 80% of Linux course will be completed. As I said, R for read, write, execute. This is one layer. Read, write, execute. Another layer. Read, write, execute. Another layer. What does come here? Here it comes a directory or a link. Now, this bit, this read, write, and execute is the owner. This write executor is a group. This one is other. Now, R is read. 4. Execute. One second. Read, write, read and execute. So, read and execute is 5. Let me not confuse you here with this diagram. I'll show you something else. Don't worry. My handwriting is very bad. Erase all drawings. Okay, take a pen. So hope you understood what I mean here. RWX, D for directory. Now let me show you permissions. I'm tired actually. Let me wind up. One last 2 slides. Don't worry, we are done. We're almost done. We are in a good shape. As per the plan, we have reached everything here. There's one more slide left. Don't worry. Oh, it's still not erased. Erase all drawings and go to the pointer. Now, if I click on it, Unix permissions. Okay. Observe carefully. 4 is read permission, which is R. 5 is read and execute permissions, R and X. 6 is read write permissions. 7 is read write and execute. For example, when you say read is 4, R is 4. When you say 5 is read and execute, 4 is read, 1 is execute. 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay. When you say read write is 6, 4 is read and 2 is write. When you say read write execute is 7, 4 is read, 2 is write, okay, 1 is execute. 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 7. I request every one of you to kindly please write this one. Very important. Very, very important. Please make a note of this one. Let me know once you have written it. So today we are announcing a new initiative called Google Lens. Google Lens is a set of vision-based computing capabilities that can understand what you're looking at and help you take action based on that information. Let me know once done. Once again, it has to be fed in your mind. I'm very serious about it. R for read, nalugu. Okay. నాలుగు తర్వాత 5. 5 అంటే రీడ్ అండ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్. ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అంటే 1. 6 అంటే రీడ్ రైట్. 6 అంటే 4, రైట్ అంటే 2. 4 ప్లస్ 2 6. ఓకే. రీడ్ రైట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్. R stands for 4, write stands for 2, execute stands for 1. Sorry, execute stands for 1, write stands for 2. So 4 plus 1 plus 2 is 7. Ante if you want to execute anything, that should be 7. If you want to write anything, if you want to read anything, that is 4. If you want to read and write something, that is 6. If you want to read and execute something, that is 5. This should be fed in your mind, please. If you are confused here, let me know. I'll clear it. Everyone, please, this is very important. Very, very important. Your Linux operational skills are very, very important. Take it very seriously. Any questions, let me know. Once again, read is 4, 5 is read and execute, 6 is read and write, 7 is read, write and execute. And the last one stands for directory or link. If you are happy, let me know. I'll go to next slide. That's the last slide for today. Any questions, anyone? Guys? Who is Satya? Yeah, Satya, I know. No worries. Yeah. Bhaskar, Devendra, Dana, Hemant, Lavanya, Nagesh, Naresh, Satya, Shilpa, Shravan. Any questions? Anybody else? Any other questions? Guys, come on. Any questions? Are you okay? You have any questions? Any doubts? Speak up. Perfect. Thanks. So, yeah, somebody's asking something. Go ahead, sir. Who is that? Dana.
No, I'm fine.
Perfect. Thanks. Appreciate it. One last one. Now, we are here. One last one for today. Have a look. Guys, see. Here, when I said 4, let me take the diagram once again. If you understand this one, you will be expert in your office. You'll really finish work very fast. Trust me. Take my word. Here, you need to understand something. When you say 4 is for read, what is this one? This one means this is user. Okay? This is group. This is other. Okay? Now, here, when you say chmod 755, 7 is for read, write, and execute. 5 is for read and execute. 5 is for read and execute. So 7 goes to user, 5 goes to group, this 5 goes to other. Perfect. Now this one is directory. Forget about it. Don't worry about it. What is 5? 5 is read and execute. This goes to user, 0 goes to group, this 0 goes to other. Now 6. 6 is 4 plus 2. 4 is read, 2 is write. This goes to user, 4 read goes to group, and 4 goes to other. Perfect. Now here owner has got read, write, execute. Group has got only read and execute. Other has got read and execute. Okay. User is nothing but owner. Okay. 5. Here I'm talking about this one. Owner has got read and execute. Group has got nothing. Other has got nothing. And once again, 6 is read and execute. Read and write, sorry. Owner has got read and write. Group has got read. Other has got read. That's what it is. Now, chmod plus x means add an executable permissions to file. Chmod u minus r means remove read permissions to that user. Chmod aw means a plus w means add write permissions for everyone. That's it. That's all I have for today. This thing, if you understand, your journey will be straightforward, smooth, happy. If you tend to confuse, this will come as a part of your BAU activities, business as usual activities. Administrators must have a clear cut picture on this one, because you will be in a position to manage your whole environment of Hadoop. If you don't have this basic understanding, and if you don't have command on this one, you tend to confuse, and you tend to, this confusion lead to so many other issues. That is the reason why I'm trying to make it very, very simple and straightforward. Okay, clear this one? Any questions? Hope you're all happy. Bhaskar, any questions? Any other questions? Satya, Shilpa, Shravan, Suresh, Fatma, Dana, Hemant.
Hi Amar, this is Satya.
Yeah.
Are we expected to, configure this virtual machine and Linux by
No,
ourselves?
I'll give you lab. Don't worry. The lab which I'm using.
Hi, Amar. Could you hear me?
Yeah. 1 second. Let me answer his question. I'll come back to you. Give me a second, okay? Yeah. You need not have to install Linux.
Amar,
Yeah.
could you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Give me a minute. I'll come back to you. Shilpa, I can hear you. Give me a minute. Satya. So
Yes, Amar.
you did not have to install any virtual machines. I'll give you a full lab. Okay. You can practice everything on that lab. The lab will be CentOS based Hadoop cluster. It will clear all your things. Don't worry about it. Okay.
In case if we wanted to play around, So that's the reason I'm asking. In case if we wanted to play around, we may mess up something in the lab. So that's why.
So if that is the case, then you need to have
Yeah.
a 16 GB RAM laptop. It can be Microsoft Surface, or it can be Mac or anything,
Yeah.
because it needs 16 GB. Let me show you that one also, as you have asked me a question. See, in my
Just
laptop,
wanted to find out for hands-on experience. That's all it is for
yeah,
Linux command.
I have two VMs. Each VM, if you see here, takes minimum 8 GB of RAM. Do you see here?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this one 8 GB, this one 8 GB, 16 GB.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whenever I wanted to use this one, I'll turn off that one. When I want to use
Okay.
that one, I'll turn off this one. So minimum
Yeah.
you need to have 16 GB RAM. I'll make one video on that one also, how to provision a virtual machine. But I don't encourage you to spend money on it. You have everything on the lab. So, don't spend money. It's not needed at the moment. I would encourage
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
to do that once you get inside an office, once you get a job, and once you wanted to
Yeah.
move your development activities. At that stage, you can buy, but don't spend money now.
Okay.
Perfect,
That's
Shilpa.
fine. Thank you.
Yeah, over to you.
Amar, what is the difference between plus X and A plus W?
Good question. That's good. Let me go back. See, plus X is nothing but you are adding execute permissions. Okay.
Yeah.
For example, you installed Cloudera manager.bin file. Until and unless you go and do chmod u plus x to that file will not be executed. You have to give execute permission to that file, only it will be executed. Like the way you click on .exe file in Windows. Okay. Now, A plus W means you are allowing a write permissions on top of read permissions. Okay, it is for everyone. A means all, plus W means for everyone you are giving write permissions. Okay.
No, my question is like what is the difference between all and everyone? Like there is user, there is group, there is others.
For all users.
Right. In the second one, when you say U minus R, you're explicitly saying remove read permission for owner, you as a user
Yeah.
or owner.
Yeah.
So that way, what is the difference between the first and the last one? Like first one doesn't have anything before execute, like add execute permission you're saying for all as in user, group and others?
Yeah. Here what happens is this plus x is nothing but u plus x.
Okay.
This plus x is nothing but u plus x. That u is like how can I say that ignorable. U plus x, okay, as you have asked me, let me show you that also. 1 second. See, chmod u plus x versus chmod plus x. U stands for user. Okay. Okay. Chmod u plus x will made an executable file for your user. Okay. And if you wish to do this to a directory, it makes directory searchable. For example, when I said find hyphen something, this u plus x, if you give u plus x, okay, it will be done for that user. Okay. Instead, if you do plus x, it makes executable by everyone. Okay. So for if only that specific person who logged in wanted to execute, he uses u plus x. If you just use chmod plus x, it will be executable for everyone. Okay.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
Here when you don't have like anything like a U or any alphabet before X, you're saying it is only for user.
No, if you give u plus
U
x,
plus X and plus X is both for an execute permission to add an execute permission to a user.
I didn't get that. Come again. I missed it.
u plus x
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
plus x both mean giving execute permission to a user?
No. See, plus X you mean for everyone.
So that means that is for user, for group and others.
Exactly. Which means one more thing you need to understand. As I told you, when I have logged in, okay, when ThoughtWorks has logged in, when ThoughtWorks has given chmod u plus x, only ThoughtWorks can execute that file at that time. Okay. Later, if you also want to execute, you must give chmod u plus x. Instead, if I want everyone to execute, I can use chmod plus x or a plus x.
Oh, so plus x and a plus x are same.
Same, yeah, exactly. A is for all, plus x is for everyone. You can clearly see here, it's plus all, for all. Do you see here at the end of the line? Add execute permission to a file for all.
Yeah, so for all as in for users, for groups and for others.
Exactly, you're right, correct.
And the last one is also for all or for everyone.
Right. Yes, you're right, yeah, correct.
Okay.
Anybody else, any questions? It was perfect.
Hemant,
Yeah, Hemant, go ahead, Hemant.
if you don't mind, I lost the connection near the permissions. If you are able to send me the video or what.
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll definitely send it. I'll convert the video now and I'll send it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, one more thing. I have went ahead and explained you about AWS intentionally, just to make sure that your way is going to be like that. So be prepared for that. It's not my intention to confuse you, but when we configure a Hadoop cluster, I'll explain you that more detailedly. Okay. Hope you all have enjoyed the session. Hope it was.
Amar,
Yep.
could you please send the PPT as well?
Yeah, I'll do it. No worries. I'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Any questions?
Well, would you be explaining the networking bit when you set up the cluster?
Obviously, sir. Actually,
Okay.
I have this also in my agenda today, but it's too late. We already had a long
Okay,
session. I'll cover that tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So Amar, for today, if we want to actually practice these commands as in Linux, where can we do that?
Give me 2 days here. I'll sort out the lab access for everyone. I'm just waiting for final confirmations, because what happens is if I give 2 names for lab access, 3 names for lab access, that it really kind of, they may get pissed off. Why this guy is giving so many requests? Rather, I'm just waiting for others also to confirm, so I can give all the names as single shot. You'll get access to, everyone gets the same time.
Okay.
Just bear with me for 1 or 2 days. Might be by Monday evening you'll get it. By Tuesday evening, not Monday evening. Monday is just tomorrow.
Sure, yeah.
Anything else? Anyone?
Amar,
Yeah.
why did you choose the CentOS? You said the commands will be different for each distribution. So why did you choose CentOS only?
Perfect question. I love that. I'm just comfortable with CentOS. That's it.
Okay.
I'm just
which is the most used one in most of the companies?
Production, they use CentOS only. Most of the production, they use CentOS only. I thought to explain this one also today, but the current session only went so long, so we'll discuss this tomorrow.
Okay then.
Yeah, CentOS I'm comfortable అన్న అంతే. నాకు CentOS ఎందుకో నచ్చుతుంది. అదే ప్రొడక్షన్ లో కూడా CentOS ఉంటుంది ఐడియలీ. Wherever you go, your production cluster will have CentOS only. But you will have to do some proof of concepts, and you'll have to do some sessions. For that one, they'll ask you to use Fedora. Sometimes they'll ask you to use Ubuntu also.
Okay. మైనర్ చేంజెస్ ఉంటాయి ఆ కమాండ్స్ లో వచ్చేసేసి.
ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ sudo mif అప్డేట్ అన్నాను, ఆ ఉబుంటులో ఏమవుతుందంటే sudo apt get ఉంటది.
ఓకే.
m is replaced by apt get అంతే. Everybody is from Hyderabad, right? Do I have anybody from Chennai or North Indian who can't understand Telugu? I don't think so.
I'm okay. I can understand.
Last batch I had 2 people, so I have to convert everything in English whenever I say in Telugu.
Okay.
Vasan, I can understand. That's okay. Yeah. Okay.
ఈ కమాండ్స్ ఇప్పుడు అమర్ ఇప్పుడు యాక్చువల్గా నువ్వు ఆ పీపీటీ సెండ్ చేసావు అనుకో, ఆ కమాండ్స్ మేము వర్చువల్ మెషిన్ లో ఒకవేళ CentOS ఇన్స్టాల్ చేస్తే అందులో టెర్మినల్ లో ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసుకోవచ్చు కదా?
బ్రహ్మాండంగా.
ఓకే ఓకే అయితే
ఓకేనా?
యా థ్యాంక్ యూ అమర్.
No worries. Anybody else? Any questions?
Amar, not related to subject. Every week ఇలానే long sessions కండక్ట్ చేస్తారా లేకుంటే just 1.5 hour 2 hours?
మీ
I'm
ఓపిక.
not a big fan of long sessions.
సీరియస్లీ ఐ అండర్స్టాండ్, సారీ ఫర్ దాట్. నన్ను ఎవరైనా ఆపే వరకు వెళ్ళిపోతూనే ఉంటా. దట్స్ మై బ్యాడ్ హ్యాబిట్. కైండ్లీ అండర్స్టాండ్ దాట్. నేను అందుకే అడుగుతుంటాను, ఆర్ యూ ఓకే అని అడుగుతాను. బికాస్ ఫర్ మీ ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ గోస్ లైక్ దాట్. There were days where we spent 6 hours in a single lab, 6 hours direct online class. So I have the bad habit, I'm telling you honestly. When you're vexed up, when you're tired, when you think it's going over your head, just stop me there. మీరు ఆ స్టేజ్కి రీచ్ అయ్యి నేను చెప్పాను అనుకోండి, చెప్పినా వేస్ట్, అది ఎక్కదు మీకు. మీ టైం వేస్ట్, నా టైం వేస్ట్. సో
That's the reason.
Yeah.
If you agree for one slot, like okay, 5:30 to 6:30 or 5:30 to 7, that will be great.
So weekdays should short 5 to 6:30. Not even 1 minute I'll cross after 6:30. Whatever, even though the topic is less running or overrunning, 6:30 sharp will end. But weekends we can have long sessions, but not this long. Okay, today it happened. Yeah.
I don't want to cross that time.
Yeah, I know. We all have to go to office.
మేబీ అమర్,
Yeah.
మేబీ వీకెండ్స్ ఇలా లాంగ్ సెషన్స్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు మధ్యలో మేబీ ఒక 10 minutes ఆర్ 15 minutes ఎవరికైనా ఏమన్నా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే, అంటే ప్రీవియస్ సెషన్స్ నుండి ఏమన్నా మేము అంటే రివైజ్ చేసుకుంటున్నప్పుడు డౌట్స్ వచ్చినాయి అనుకో, అవి మేము అడగటానికి ఒక 10 minutes 15 minutes కేటాయించాం అనుకో, దెన్ మేబీ ఎవ్రీ వన్ విల్ బి ఇంటరాక్టింగ్.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what I wanted to do actually. లేదు అన్న, అదొక పాయింట్. ఇంకో పాయింట్ అంటే కొంతమందికి లాంగ్ సెషన్స్ కూర్చున్నా ఫోకస్ చేయలేరన్న. ఐ మీన్ నాట్ జస్ట్ విత్ సంబడి ఎల్స్. ఐ హావ్ సీన్. సో ఆఫీస్ లో కూడా, మా ఆఫీస్ లో ఉన్నారు కొంతమంది, అట్లీస్ట్ 1.5 hour కోసం వాళ్ళు లేచి బయటికి ఫ్రెష్ ఎయిర్ తీసుకొని రావాలి, లేకపోతే వర్క్ చేయలేరు కొంతమంది. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ పిన్ పాయింటింగ్.
అదే కంటిన్యూస్ గా చేయలేము ఎవరైనా.
No. So we'll plan it. We'll make it more interactive. Okay, that's all I have for today. Okay na?
Okay then. Have a nice weekend.
Have a nice weekend, everyone. Give me a call if you have any questions. We'll discuss evening, not today. Let me go and have some good sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Somebody's asking.
Bye.
Morning కూడా class ఉంటుంది.
Yeah, I'll send tomorrow morning class also. Yes.
Okay.
Perfect, guys. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.